Hey, how's it going, folks? Now, I'm separated. I think today is my 8 or 9 months. I couldn't, September to all the way now. You guys can figure that out for me. Today it's April. We're close to May. Next couple of days. All right. He mentioned about this type of topic, and it really got me thinking a lot. Like, for example, the reason why I'm sharing tears, whether I'm with the baby mama, whether I'm with my daughter, or whether I left, drop my daughter to go home or go to childcare or whatever, right? I didn't understand why, why am I crying? It's already 8-9 months I'm separated. And I think, many people will say, look, it's only 8-9 months, you probably, slow the pace down and everything. Of course, at the beginning, I cry a lot more. But as we get to the different stage, right? Like, you think of 8-9 months, it would ease down a bit, right? Now, of course, it does ease down. But I never understood why I'm at that stage, right? And I guess what my mate, my co-worker said to me is that, what is that word? I'm just trying to get out the car. It's the fact that when you go from building a kingdom right in front of you, right? The kingdom that you cherish, that you built on as a man, right? And when that is gone, things goes hay loose, right? So I think that the whole kingdom thing makes sense, right? Your own little kingdom, because there's no other kingdom out there. You've already evolved out of your family, and now you're creating your own kingdom. The child that you brought up is the mini-me version of you and your mother, and it's the whole kingdom that is being destroyed. Now, that co-worker is going to get married next year, and I told him, look, good luck. I'll just give you a little heads up, people, different time will change. When you have a child, you'll change. And when you have a child, you have the biological side of you get to you, right? And you never experience that when you're single. Even, probably you experience that when you have a girlfriend, like a long-term whatever. But when you go through all that, you forget about everything, and obviously you go with the biological where it's guided you. And obviously, what's the biological thing that we guys need is that we need a house, right? Just to have a nest with our family. Nothing wrong with that. Whether if the house costs outside your borrow capacity or zone, whatever, it's getting you to that level, right? And when you have that level, you have the biological kicks in. And I told him one thing, because he's a Muslim background and this is probably his first one. And I said to him, look, regardless if you're Muslim or not Muslim, all right, the matter of fact that the laws that are put in place in the Western world, it destroys a lot of things. Because essentially, why people go to the Western world is they can create, whether it's Australia dream or Belgium dream or whatever, UK dream or Croatia dream, and as well, you got freedom, human rights as well. And obviously, when you bring when a woman just came to this country, or a man came to this country and tasted freedom, and that's where it becomes, they don't think the long term, they think of the moment now. I'm just waiting for this to finish. Yep, cool. So when you have like that, essentially, when you have like that type of stuff, it just brings the laws as well in it. And obviously, whether you guys claim it favors men or not, or women, it was designed that way because they want to make equality, fairness, right? And when you have like that, and you got money as well. If it wasn't for money, if I don't live in a third world country and doesn't have that much tax, life would be simple within a family. However, when you live in a high tax, everything is a bit about tax. For example, where I'm living now in Australia, it makes things a lot more harder. And when it makes things a lot more harder, it becomes a stage where, money becomes the new warship. Now I know one of my ex-family member, because I'm already separated, um, is going through a form of, you know, family dispute. Not because he's not a good man, it's because of, like, you know, what's that word? It's because of the fact that at times of our career, he's an import export, and it's going really bad in his side, and that's why not the customers or the country base, because of whatever the tariff or civil war that his country going through, he's dropping sales. And when you drop sales like that, it becomes a problematic, and it's not making an income, right? And that's part of life. Sometimes when you marry the person or whatever, you're not going to expect to have X, Y, and Z. And when you go through that, right, and when a woman, you testing the woman, is she ride or die with you, right? That's what marriage is about. He's married, has 2 kids, but when a woman starts to think like that, it means the woman is not loyal. And when a woman is not loyal, it becomes a problematic where, like, start a comparison amongst their peers or family, right? Or, X, Y, and Z did this and did that. Look at me now, I don't have this and do that. It becomes a comparison war game, apple to apple. It cannot be worked on that way, on that term as well. And when you have like that, it becomes essentially, they most likely will get separated or divorced, right? For him. And also, when you allow a woman to have a management level or upper position, and when they experience power, there's a lot of power hunger and power trip and pushing the pressure down. And one thing that I've started on the video is basically saying is, what's that word? The word of is kingdom, right? When a man makes money, he does not care if the wife does not make the money, right? When he doesn't make the money, he protects the family, right? To whatever the level it is, right? And it doesn't, well, obviously there's domestic violence. Obviously there is a disagreement, but a man's role is to build their kingdom, all right, in that family unit. Unfortunately, we have all these laws and everything like that. It's not against of the whole thing. And when you have it like that, it becomes a problematic, what's that word? It becomes a problematic when a woman has power, because they can make money, they can earn more money, and they can put you down. And essentially that's what happened when you build your family up. You build a kingdom, you build your wife up, career, and now they exceed the money level, and maybe the reverse roles of who looking after the family or the kids. But when you have like that, it becomes a problematic by getting to that stage, right? And when you have like that, the woman doesn't think of the kingdom. What a useless guy that I'm married to. Now, whether he made a bad decision or good decision, everyone has their strategy or tactic or their risk taking in their business model or their career model, right? But now it's gone to that stage. And when you have that stage and they're comparison to others, the women no longer think of their kingdom. They should be happy with what they have, because the more money that you make, the more tax that you're going to get. And when you have that level, this becomes where it is now. So you got money, freedom, and obviously Australia Dream and laws has put in place that it makes people to go outside their biological. Your biological is not supposed to be separated. Your biological is to, what is marriage is about, is to stick to each other from the hard times, from the good times. And that's journey of life. You test, not life will give you the best of everything every single day, right? And when you have like that, and you fall for the traps or gaps or whatever, it is what it is, right? And I'm not here to support his idea or her idea, That's what marriage should be like. Unfortunately, nowadays is everything's going out of the biological way. And when it's going out of the biological way, it becomes a problematic where divorce and fight within the family and money is a big problem because we all worship money. And if it wasn't for money, if it wasn't for the laws, if it wasn't for child support or the government, Australia Dream, whatever, men and women will obey. Back in the days in the UK, they call it the workhouse, the poorhouse. It's those who are unemployed because their work is seasonal back in the days, working in a farm, whatever. And there's no harvesting to grow that certain thing, right, on that particular time. And when you have like that, and as they go to this workplace, they work in a religious place, and in return to get accommodation. And that's what has happened. But now it's a different story because everyone can buy a house, everyone can do this, and now there's no such thing family will stone to your death if you go through divorce or think of divorce. There's no really big consequences. The only thing is like, oh, what a shame, such and such are separated or X, Y, and Z. That's what the only conversation that they're going to talk about. But at the end of the day, it's very hard because, we humans can go up and go down. But unfortunately, we do not accept mistakes nowadays because life is a lot more fragile and a lot more unstable, right? And especially we're living in the AI revolution, right? As we kickstarted after the COVID. Things are a lot more gonna be divorce. It's gonna be a lot more family breakers and X, Y, and Z. Now there's news in Australia. There's topic right now is knifing in the shopping centre. That could skyrocket if it hits recession, right? We've got news that men, ex-partner or or husbands, whatever, is killing domestic violence and murdering their ex-partner or whatever. And it's because of you going against your biological. You're not supposed to be separated. But at the same time, people say you blame the woman having a poor choice of selecting a man or whatever. And it's a societal problem because if there's no money, there's no happy. The wife never be happy if there's no money. There's arguments. And now we're arguing because there's not enough money. And of course, I won't say, being naive about it. If you have a cost of living, you have a mortgage, you have a house, you have a car, you have personal debts, credit card debts, competition amongst your peers, and as well, not only just competition, but also like comparison, who has his, and you have to keep up with the Jonas as well. So this whole notion of the whole going against our biological because of the money. If it wasn't for money back in the days, the village or the tribe, or we look at the Amish community, has built their house for you forever. Houses wasn't like this investment, but unfortunately with the world, with the country allowing, migrants and getting the visas X, Y, and Z, allowed this to happen. And when it allowed this to happen, it becomes going against the biological where it is today. And I'm not here to complain or anything. I'm just letting you guys know the fact that we live in a world that we're going against biological. And if women are delaying giving birth, and as well men, because it's all about money at the end of the day, getting a better job. Not many having kids or not married. Obviously, you have condoms as well with the contraceptive pills. This is not going against the biological. Back in the days, having a sex is for reproductive. Nowadays, we're taking a laugh and joke on the pornography and the OF space where girls are cherished to go to that speed. Like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you guys know where we're heading to. And it's not that great, to be honest. But what can we do when you go into that stage where it is very problematic with the whole thing? And, now with the country in Australia is talking about very, very hard about the fact of getting to, how do we, minimize or, eliminate men violence against women. you're going against your biological. And people who are single or people in a relationship doesn't have kids would not understand what's it like to lose your family. They have no idea how much hurt and pain. You cannot sleep, you know. You get emotional when you see your kids. You can't do anything. And maybe the talk between the ex-husband or the girlfriend, they're not listening because they can find someone, or they create jealousy, they create revenge, whatever. And they had enough and they explode. So this whole notion is very, very difficult. And all I say, that's the way how it is. It's very, very difficult nowadays.